Hey all, my name is Rob Keim, and I am the priest or pastor here at St. Barnabas Episcopal Church in Arroyo Grande. The Episcopal Church is part of the worldwide Anglican communion of about 80 million people. Here in the U.S., we're known as one of the more progressive forms of Christianity, and we are very LGBTQ plus friendly. My husband and I live in Arroyo Grande, and of note, today we both got our first haircuts in 15 months. We had very shaggy hair through COVID, and I feel much better now. Today, as I begin, I must first say that I am sorry. I have to start by acknowledging that many churches have done horrible things to us. Some churches continue to do horrible things, and they say it is in the name of God. This is wrong, and I pledge to work against this injustice. You and I have all been wounded, and part of my journey towards healing and wholeness has been to reject this message that being LGBTQ plus is somehow less than. My path to healing led me back to the church, but to a part of the church that is wholesome. My part of the church welcomes and celebrates all of our diversity, including our gender and sexual diversity. For my journey, I had to move to be with followers of Jesus who welcome, embrace, celebrate, and shout out about the beauty that is part of our birthright. We are not misfits. We are beautiful. Each one of us is beautiful. Each one of you is beautiful. Do you believe in this beauty? Our world needs more beauty. Actually, that's not accurate. Our world has a lot of beauty in it, but we often fail to see the beauty. We fail to see the beauty in the world around us, in the people around us, and even in ourselves. Nevertheless, you are beautiful. Growing up, we had a poster in the door of our guest bathroom. As you sat in the bathroom, you looked at this large poster that had this saying from Herb Barks: "Believe it, you're a real find. A joy in someone's heart. You're a jewel, unique and priceless. God don't make no junk." I don't know who Herb Barks is, but for thousands of times I stared at his saying that is branded into my brain. Let me repeat it. Believe it. You're a real find. A joy in someone's heart. You're a jewel, unique and priceless. God don't make no junk. As an adolescent, as a teenager, and even as a young adult, I read these words again thousands of times, but I still didn't believe them. When I was 12 years old, I figured out I was this slur that we called gay. I was filled with shame, and I hid. At the time, I thought I was alone in feeling shame, but probably wasn't. God don't make no junk. Didn't seem to apply to me. Even though I didn't believe these words, I have to thank my mother for making sure that we all had thousands of opportunities to see and read these words. Believe it, you're a real joy. Believe it, you are a real find, a joy in someone's heart. You're a jewel, unique and priceless. God don't make no junk. It wasn't until later in life that I started to internalize and accept these words, at least some of the time. Now the phrase from that poster is too long for a sticker. So instead, I have these little mirror stickers that say, "You are beautiful." But can you see how the message is the same as that longer one? As sexual minorities, this is our birthright. We are beautiful. Part of my process to accept my worthiness and birthright was to do something I call take back the Bible. We've all heard the slam text in the Bibles used to justify hate and bigotry toward LGBTQ plus folk. Part of taking back the Bible for Jesus is understanding what the slam texts really mean, and then also finding positive gay role models in the Bible. The love story of David and Jonathan is one such example. The son of King Saul and the man who was to become King David had an intimate physical relationship with one another. They loved each other deeply. And each time we read about eunuchs in the Bible, that is also about us. Eunuch was a term that was used much more broadly back then than it is today. And eunuchs have several prominent positive stories in the Bible. When you take back the Bible, you see that sexual minorities are shown with beauty. This is the message that is preached from my part of the church. We are beautifully and wonderfully made, just the way we are. When you take back the Bible, you see this beauty and you let go of that nasty stuff. For you see, Jesus brings love, beauty, and connection, not hate and division. When you take back the Bible, you see that many of Jesus' best teachings have been warped. We have twisted the meaning to be different than Jesus had intended. For example, at the end of the Sermon on the Mount and the Beatitudes, Jesus says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but is thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world." Somehow we have made the salt and light about who is going to heaven and who is not going to heaven. Woe to those of you who have lost your salty flavor or hidden your light. And by extension, woe to those of you that are LGBTQ+. Today, I want to reassure you that this is not what Jesus meant for us to take from his teachings. Jesus was not a divider. He was a unifier. Instead, we should read the teachings of Jesus as statements about life and about possibility and about the beauty that has already been built into each and every one of us. Salt was seen as precious. For ancient people, salt was a great value. It was important for preserving, seasoning, and curiously as a symbol of healing. When Jesus says, "You are the salt of the earth," he is telling you that you are precious, and that includes LGBTQ+. And when Jesus says you are the light of the world, he is telling you that you have Christ within you, waiting to shine out and illumine the beauty of the world around you. Now, there are two ancient 13th century teachings about this light. First, St. Thomas Aquinas taught that we are like a window, and the light of God shines through us like a transparent window. With this imagery, the light is an external source shining from outside of us and through us. This light shines through LGBTQ+ folks too. And a few decades later, the Franciscan John Duns Scotus taught that human beings are like a lamp. We had an internal or an inner source of light that shines out into the things around us. In this way, our light helps us to see God's image in the people around us. We see the sacredness of the created world. God's indwelling presence is in all things. Whether we see it or not, the Christ is inherent in all, and it cannot be earned or destroyed. Sexual minorities, LGBTQ+ folk, are beautifully and wonderfully made. Thomas Merton was a 20th century American Trappist monk writer, theologian, and social activist. Merton wrote the following: "I have the immense joy of being a human being, a member of a race in which God became incarnate. As if the sorrows and the stupidities of the human condition could overwhelm me, now I realize what we all are, and if only everyone could realize this. But it cannot be explained. There is no way of telling people that they are all walking around shining like the sun. There is no way of telling people that they are all walking around shining like the sun. God don't make no junk. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. You are wonderfully made. You are precious. You are beautiful, and this includes us." Now, I think there are a lot of reasons that we don't accept our inner light. Shame, guilt, and feelings of inadequacy are all internal barriers to accepting the light that is already inside of us. There can be a sense that we are not smart enough, funny enough, or pretty enough. And let's not forget how racism, sexism, homophobia, and classism are external forces that push us down and dampen our acceptance of the light. The very institutions that say that they are about love preach a message of hate to us. However, that is why I had to switch into a part of the church that celebrates me just the way I am. It's a part of the church in which our bishop performed the wedding ceremony for my husband and me in front of 355 other celebrating followers of Jesus. In my part of the church, we can see how the image of Christ is stamped into each and every one of us. I am gay, and God made me this way and loves me this way. Now, I do need to point out that in my own journey through life, not all of my baggage is from external sources like the church. In this lifetime, most of us have egos and false selves that get in the way of relationship with God, others, and self. Do we need to be in control? Be admired? Feel useful? Or be better than others? Our egos and false selves get in the way of seeing the beauty of the light that already surrounds us. The ego and false self act as a bushel basket that is put over the lamp. It is such an unnecessary waste when we hide our light. I wish I had a magic pill that I could take that could take this problem away, or there was a button that I could push that would instantaneously fix this. Perhaps the first step is to realize the true point of the Beatitudes. Jesus is teaching us about things that God has already built into us. We are the salt. We are the light. And next we need to recognize the need the world has for our light. No one else has the light the way you do, the way we do. We each need to shine out into a world that sorely needs our light. And next we need to recognize the many simple ways to be the light. Share some time with someone and be present with them, really present. Write a note or card to someone expressing the light you see in them. Graciously accept a compliment when you receive it. Share the gift of learning or hospitality. Give someone a "You Are Beautiful" sticker, or even wear the sticker so that others that may see themselves reflected in the beauty. You may not realize all the ways that you are already the light in someone else's life. And while you're at it, consider, who is the light in your life? Remember, it may not be what the other person has done for you. It may just be their being itself. There are so many ways to shine in the world. Our light enables others to see God. When we as LGBTQ plus folk are the hands and feet and voice of Jesus in the world, we make it brighter for all. God don't make no junk. You are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. You are wonderfully made. You are precious. And you are beautiful.